Hello everyone. In this video clip I will be covering the topic of how we can respond to life with more balance and flexibility. With most of us we have certain patterns, certain tendencies, certain polarized ways that we tend to handle things in our lives. If we can learn to be more whole, more integrated and complete, then we have more flexibility, a greater ability to respond to things in ways that are healthier. From the time that we're an infant and we're growing up as a child all the way into our adulthood, we are learning and embracing or integrating different patterns of how we respond to things that we encounter in our environment. So we're taking on these different imprintings, these different forms of programming. And when we carry those subconscious programs into any particular moment and we're reacting, then we're not really being fully present, fully conscious and aware and able to access all of the potential ways that we could handle that current circumstance. We're actually receiving those forms of programming or imprinting from our parents even before we're born. Our field of consciousness is present there, and it's tuning in to the feelings, the emotional states of our parents, especially the mother. And as we're a young child, we're tuning into our parents' reactions to their attitudes and beliefs. And since it's natural to attempt to resonate with your own parents or your own caretakers, to adapt to them, to be in harmony with them, so that you can fit in or function in that environment, we're unconsciously aligning with those particular belief systems, those thought patterns, those emotional reaction patterns that those people around us are presenting and projecting. As we become more mature, more self-aware, more conscious of who we would like to be as a human being, we begin to deprogram ourselves, to disconnect from some of the patterns that we realize are not healthy for us. And we can learn new skill sets, we can learn different ways of handling things. One important set of skills that we can all develop is mindfulness and meditation skills, learning to be more in the present moment, not projecting into the future or not carrying our past reactions into the present, but just being mindful, being conscious and aware of whatever is transpiring, and being able to use all aspects of our mind and our intelligence, not just the intellectual intelligence, but also emotional and spiritual intelligence, to be able to cope with life circumstances, to respond to things in ways that are more productive. As an example, if we have an argument with someone who's a partner or someone very close to us, we may be reacting to them based upon how we felt and responded to our parents when we were a child. We often replay those emotional issues that we've carried from our childhood. If we have unresolved angers, unresolved trauma or loss, if we feel rejected, neglected, abandoned, betrayed, and so on, we may carry those unconscious feelings into our relationships in the present, and we may react to another person based upon those things that we're carrying from our past, even though what they are presenting in the present might not even really relate to what we're projecting onto them. If we can be more mindful, more aware, then we can more objectively observe ourselves and others and have a more balanced understanding of how we're relating with each other. We can also have more empathy for others. If we're caught up in our own fears and anxieties, our own angers and frustrations, we may not be able to really tune in and acknowledge what another person is feeling. It may be harder for us to recognize and identify their point of view, their priorities, their feelings, their sensations, etc. Thus, the more we can be at peace, the more we're centered within our own being, the more we are able to use our awareness to perceive our surroundings more clearly. We can be tuned in to others as well as tuned in to ourselves, and that creates more of a balance. If we're only tuned into others or only tuned into ourselves, then we tend to function in a more imbalanced way. Some people might refer to those who are tuned in more to others as overly light side in their way of being. So they cater to others, they're seeking to please others or gain approval from others, and they're denying their self, their own desires, their own well-being. And then the opposite polarization is what people might call the dark side, where you're so preoccupied with yourself that you lose your compassion and empathy for others. You start to just analyze how to meet your own momentary need, your own perhaps instant gratification, without perceiving the bigger picture, without relating to the greater system that you are a part of, whether that system is your family, your workplace, your community, or even the whole planet that we live on. If we're too preoccupied with our own self, our own insecurities, then we lose track of that bigger picture. For those that have had significant losses, significant traumas in their lives, there is a tendency to compensate for that, to cope with life in a way where you're seeking to overprotect yourself from re-experiencing that pain, that suffering. However, when you overcompensate, you're actually helping perpetuate unpleasant situations and negative circumstances in your lives. A person who is afraid to trust anyone will naturally tend to co-create more situations where that issue of betrayal and lack of trust comes up. Therefore, it's vital for us to work on healing those experiences that we've had, on finding peace and forgiveness, resolving any trauma or loss that we haven't gotten over yet. Only with resolution, with returning to a state of more balance, of greater peace and equilibrium, will we be able to be fully present, fully integrated, and having access to all of our capacity to handle things in life. We want to be able to work with all parts of our brain, our left and right hemispheres, to use our intuition and our insight, our emotions and our logic and reasoning. We don't want to cut off one half of our being and only relate to our surroundings with half of that capacity. We need to be able to integrate it so that we can be flexible, so we can use whatever will be most effective and efficient for a particular situation. I encourage each of you to explore these topics more, to look at the development of our personality, going all the way back into the childhood stages, seeing how our reactions to the people around us, to the situations and circumstances that we've experienced, how the meaning that we give to things, the interpretations, the beliefs that we develop are continuing to shape our lives, coming all the way into the present time. And by taking this opportunity to observe those things, to build greater self-awareness, we have the power to transform, to shift the way that we're relating to the world around us, the way that we connect or don't with other people, and so on. For those that are interested more in self-help and personal growth and spiritual and metaphysical healing, I invite you to visit my website at www.phinsights.com. That's PHINSIGHTS.com. You can also watch more of the videos on my YouTube channel, and you can visit my professional page on Facebook, which is facebook.com/Jedi Holistic Healing. I would like to wish everyone a wonderful day. Namaste.